guys, I just wanted to make another video and I wanted to address something that some people get mixed up a little, and it has to do with pH. pH is your I think it's hydrogen, how much hydrogen content it is, and basically it talks about how hard or soft your water is, kind of. So if you have a pH of 8, then that usually goes with hard water, and if you have a pH of 6, that's with soft water. My pH in my area is relatively neutral, so yeah, so I can pretty much keep a variety of fishes, but when dealing with pH, I've tended to notice that all fish that are captive bred, and they've been captive bred for generations and generations, like your neons, guppies, and then some of the African cichlids, they can live in pretty much any pH. They can live in normal tap water pH. So you can basically, if African cichlids would work with guppies and stuff, they didn't have any aggression. As you know, African cichlids have a super high pH, and guppies, neons, or cardinals, and if they didn't have any aggression issues, then they could live in the same tank if they were both captive bred. But I know cardinals aren't captive bred yet, and they're all wild caught, so maybe with some other fish. So that's why I'm able to keep fish like the parrot cichlid, my pendex cichlid, convix, and my firemouth. That's why I'm able to keep them. I don't know about the pendex cichlid, if it's wild caught or not, but he seems to be doing fine in my waters, and I've seen other people do it. So, but stuff like the firemouth, those are definitely captive bred. I think I actually got it from PetSmart. So yeah, so all those fish, the fish that you get at PetSmart, they live at normal pH waters. And the fish that you get at your LFS, most likely, I mean, not most likely, but if there's a fish that isn't common to the big box stores, most likely it's probably being wild caught. It could be captive bred. It's kind of a 50-50, I guess. I wouldn't really know which one's captive bred or wild caught. So many things, but never mind that. So I guess the answer to the question if pH really matters is that pH doesn't matter if the fish are captive bred. So they pretty much come from the same water, and I don't think the people at the fish farms would really strive to get a lower pH and just to get that fish a little happy, because they have been breeding for generations and generations, and they're already used to that environment. So if they're wild caught, I guess the pH would they would matter a little more, but I don't think I wouldn't advise putting an epistogramma in 8.0 tap water, but I don't think it would suffer in 7.0 water, if that makes any sense. Because I know that pH is I think it's 10 or 100 times less when you go down. So the pH of 5 is 10 times less than 6, and then onwards. Not 1 time less, but 10 times less, if that makes any sense. Sorry, it's kind of rambling here. I'm just going off topic. But yeah, you can keep parrot cichlids. Those are captive bred because they're man-made. So parrot cichlids with African cichlids, that's possible, as long as they can both hold their own. So I think they'll be fine. And my African cichlids, usually you'd want a pH of 8 or something, because that's what Lake Malawi is. But my pH is 6 or 7, and they seem to be doing fine. So yeah, if someone says you have the wrong pH and you can't mix the fish, they are right and they are wrong, because nowadays pH doesn't matter. As I said, captive bred. So if it's captive bred and you know that they're bred in captivity and you can like do some research on that, then pH wouldn't really matter. If they're wild caught, I'd be a little more cautious on what you decide. So my fish, I know all my African cichlids, like they pretty much all have to be captive bred, because I'd pretty much have to like specially ask for wild caught African cichlids if I wanted like some super good colors or something. But yeah, like that's pretty much it for pH. With plants, I'm pretty sure it doesn't really matter with plants. I'm not exactly sure. But lastly, as a disclaimer, there are blackwater species like, Apistogramma and stuff that are like super, they can't like change the pH, and pH actually matters. So don't, you wouldn't want to put like an Apistogramma in super high water. And know your water quality, because if you don't know your water quality, then like water quality meaning pH, sorry, and most likely you'll be fine. Thanks for watching.